The glitz and glamour of the K-pop industry often blind us to the calculated machinery running behind the scenes, where every smile, every accidental glance, and every explosive scandal might just be pieces on a massive corporate chessboard. For years, fans have poured their hearts, tears, and hard-earned money into defending their idols from the relentless onslaught of dating rumors, believing they are shielding these fragile stars from a malicious media landscape. We stayed up all night dissecting blurry photographs, fighting toxic comment sections, and crying tears of frustration when our favorites were dragged through the mud for simply existing. But what if the call is coming from inside the house, and the very entity we trusted to protect these global icons is the one pulling the strings of the puppet show? When you look closely at the sheer chaos surrounding BTS, from the earth-shattering Taennie rumors that dominated global headlines to the whispered secrets of Jungkook and Winter, a terrifyingly brilliant pattern begins to emerge that points directly back to the corporate offices of Hybe and Bighit. It takes a profound level of emotional resilience to be a fan in this modern era, constantly riding the waves of manufactured anxiety designed to keep our eyes glued to the screen. Think back to the moment those infamous photos of Taehyung and Jennie in Jeju Island first surfaced, sending shockwaves through the entire global music community and fracturing the fandom into a million pieces. The silence from Big Hit was not just deafening, it was a deliberate, suffocating void that allowed the flames of speculation to consume everything in their path. For a company known to sue anonymous trolls over the slightest internet comment, their sudden, paralyzed inaction during one of the biggest scandals in K-pop history felt less like helplessness and more like a calculated green light. They watched from their high-rise glass towers as the internet burned, knowing that every single click, every furious debate, and every trending hashtag was driving an unprecedented wave of engagement that kept their stocks soaring and their names permanently etched into the cultural zeitgeist. This isn't just about a lack of protection, it is about the deliberate weaponization of human emotion and idol vulnerability to control the narrative of global superstars. When Jungkook's name is suddenly intertwined with Winter's in a web of vague hints and algorithmic coincidences, it isn't a mere accident of the internet culture, but a masterclass in psychological manipulation. By subtly feeding the rumor mill or allowing easily debunkable fabrications to fester without a single official denial, the company creates a perpetual state of emotional dependency within the fandom. We become fiercely protective, hyper-focused, and deeply trauma-bonded to these artists, consuming every piece of content they release with an almost desperate loyalty because we believe they are under attack from the outside world. This carefully curated chaos ensures that the fans remain in a constant state of high alert, ready to stream, buy, and defend, completely oblivious to the fact that the fire they are trying so desperately to put out was lit by the very people holding the matches. The emotional toll this takes on the artists themselves is heartbreaking to contemplate, as they are forced to walk a tightrope between their real human desires and the hyper-commercialized personas crafted for them by executives. Imagine living a life where your most private moments, or even completely fabricated versions of them, are treated as commodity assets to be deployed whenever a distraction is needed or a new quarterly report is due. Hybe and Bighit have mastered the art of the smoke screen, using the deeply personal and sensitive nature of romantic rumors to shield themselves from corporate scrutiny, management failures, or shifting market dynamics. Every time a major contract negotiation looms or a controversial business decision is made behind closed doors, a dazzling new romantic mystery suddenly captures the world's attention, shifting the spotlight away from the suits and onto the bleeding hearts of the idols. As we look to the future, the boundary between reality and corporate fiction continues to blur, leaving us to wonder how much of the joy and pain we experience as fans is genuinely real. The addictive nature of these scandals lies in our innate human desire for connection, our need to see these larger-than-life figures as real people who love, hurt, and navigate the complexities of relationships just like the rest of us. Hybe understands this deep-seated psychological need better than anyone else, exploiting our empathy to turn the personal lives of BTS into a thrilling, never-ending drama series that keeps the entire world hooked. The realization that our deepest loyalties and fiercest defenses might just be part of a beautifully orchestrated marketing strategy is a bitter pill to swallow, but it forces us to look past the carefully constructed illusions and see the industry for what it truly is: a beautiful, tragic, and fiercely brilliant illusion where the music is only half the story. The depth of this corporate theater runs far deeper than simple public relations, embedding itself into the very fabric of how global music empires maintain their absolute dominance over the human psyche. When we watch these carefully timed controversies unfold, we are witnessing a brilliant, albeit cold-hearted, psychological game designed to exploit the intense empathy of millions. Think about the agonizing weight an artist carries when their name is dragged through endless cycles of public judgment while their management team, equipped with the most powerful legal and media machinery on earth, chooses to stand by and do absolutely nothing. This engineered helplessness creates a profound sense of isolation, not just for the idols who must endure the suffocating scrutiny of the world, away from the comfort of truth, but for the fans who feel entirely responsible for their safety. The company transforms the fandom into a volunteer army of protectors, ensuring that our emotional energy is completely consumed by defending the artist's honor, leaving us with no time or room to question the grueling schedules, the creative restrictions, or the corporate decisions being made behind closed doors. This strategic silence becomes even more insidious when you analyze the sheer timing of these viral explosions, which seem to perfectly coincide with moments of corporate vulnerability or massive financial transitions. When the rumors involving Taehyung and Jennie reached a fever pitch, it wasn't just a random leak by paparazzi, it was a smoke screen deployed at a time when the entire industry was hyper-fixated on the future of the group's military enlistment and the shifting dynamics of the stock market. By giving the media a dazzling, controversial romantic puzzle to solve, the narrative was instantly shifted away from dry financial anxieties and placed firmly back into the realm of high-stakes human drama. The collective anxiety of the world was redirected, proving that in the eyes of entertainment executives, an idol's personal dignity and mental peace are acceptable collateral damage if it means protecting the company's bottom line and keeping the global audience perpetually distracted and emotionally exhausted. The patterns repeat themselves with a chilling precision that makes it impossible to believe in mere coincidence anymore. Especially when new names like Jungkook and Winter are suddenly thrown into the chaotic mix of internet speculation. These rumors are often built on the flimsiest evidence, a shared look at an awards show, a similar piece of clothing, or an ambiguous social media post, yet they are allowed to grow into monstrous, culture-defining debates because the corporate gatekeepers choose to leave the door wide open. By refusing to shut down obvious fabrications immediately, Bighit allows these narratives to take on a life of their own, creating an addictive, soap opera-like environment where viewers feel compelled to tune in every single day just to see what happens next. It is a highly sophisticated form of audience retention that turns the genuine, real-world lives of these young creators into a serialized fiction, blurring the lines between their actual humanity and the commercial products they are forced to embody. Beneath the surface of this manufactured chaos lies a heartbreaking reality for the individuals trapped inside this golden cage, living under the constant pressure of being watched, judged, and utilized as chess pieces. They are denied the basic human right to control their own stories, forced to stay silent while their names are weaponized to generate billions of impressions and keep the corporate machine running at maximum efficiency. The true tragedy is that the love, dedication, and protective fury we feel as a community are being anticipated and budgeted for by executives in boardrooms, who view our tears and sleepless nights as nothing more than successful engagement metrics. As the illusion continues to spin its web across the globe, we are left with the sobering realization that the greatest threat to these artists isn't the gossip columns or the anti-fans, but the very architects who built their thrones, proving that in the relentless pursuit of global empire, even the most sacred bonds of trust can be sacrificed for the sake of entertainment. The machinery of this endless drama relies entirely on a continuous cycle of emotional exhaustion and sudden, desperate hope, keeping the global community trapped in a permanent state of hyperfixation. When we look at how effortlessly these narratives pass from one member to another, like a torch being handed down in the dark, it becomes clear that no one within the group is exempt from being used as a strategic shield. The sudden shifts in focus from Taehyung's highly publicized chapters to the whispered, algorithmic rumors surrounding Jungkook and Winter are not organic developments born from genuine human interactions, they are carefully calibrated adjustments to the global spotlight. By keeping multiple storylines running simultaneously or ready to be activated at a moment's notice, the management ensures that the collective gaze of the world never wanders toward other competing agencies or alternative global entities, securing an absolute monopoly on the public's emotional real estate. This calculated chaos serves a much deeper, structural purpose within the idol industry by breaking down the artist's individual autonomy and making them completely dependent on the corporate structure for survival. When an idol is subjected to a massive, coordinated wave of public speculation, their entire world shrinks to the boundaries of their safety net, which is entirely controlled by the company. The psychological toll of knowing that your private life, your reputation, and your mental well-being are being traded for media metrics creates a profound sense of institutional submission, where the artist is forced to accept that their humanity is secondary to the brand. Every silent walk through a crowded airport, every forced smile during an official broadcast while the internet tears Their personal life apart becomes a chilling testament to the absolute power the agency holds over their destiny, turning the pursuit of their musical dreams into an agonizing compromise with corporate greed. What makes this system so exceptionally addictive for the outside observer is the carefully engineered ambiguity that leaves every situation open to 1,000 different interpretations. The corporate strategy relies on giving the audience just enough breadcrumbs, an unconfirmed blurry video, an ambiguous press statement that raises more questions than it answers, or an unusual pattern of social media updates, to ensure that the fandom remains deeply divided and constantly arguing. This internal friction within the global community is highly profitable, as the endless debates drive up engagement algorithms, keep the artists trending at the top of global charts, and create an atmosphere of constant controversy that mainstream media outlets cannot resist covering. The fans find themselves trapped in a beautifully constructed maze, running in circles to find the truth, completely unaware that the walls of the maze were built to keep them running forever. As we stand witness to this continuous, heartless spectacle, the boundary between what is genuine and what is manufactured begins to dissolve entirely, leaving behind a profound sense of disillusionment. The deep connections, the shared struggles, and the triumphs that define the journey of these global icons are constantly overshadowed by the dark shadow of corporate manipulation, forcing us to re-examine everything we thought we knew about the industry. The realization that the very platform built to showcase their genius is instead being used to exploit their vulnerabilities is a heavy burden for any supporter to carry, yet it shines a fierce, uncompromising light on the true cost of global stardom. In this high-stakes game of cultural chess, the music ceases to be just an art form and becomes the soundtrack to a sprawling, tragic corporate drama, where the ultimate prize is not artistic fulfillment, but the complete and total ownership of the human heart.